Hey guys, it is Stephanie here, and so I wanted to talk with you a little bit about mindset. And so I want you to start thinking about, is it time for you to perhaps change your mindset? So change your negative mindset to a more positive one. And I'm going to talk to you about 6 red flags or 6 signs that may be indicators that it is time to start working on changing your mindset so you can have a better quality of life. So here's something I want you to think about. Regardless of what's currently happening in your life, the way you perceive your life is what is going to ultimately make you happy or unhappy. So ultimately, your perception is your reality. And so changing the way you look at your life can make a huge difference. So, but first it's important to know if you have a faulty mindset. So I hope that you find these 6 red flags or signs or symptoms helpful in deciding if you need to work on that. So let's get started. All right, so red flag number 1, you're constantly focusing on what is wrong. Okay, this is a sure sign that your mindset is contaminated with a ton of negativity. So it's important that we take the time to be thankful for the things that are going well in our life. So we can't just have this black and white thinking and getting kind of stuck in those thoughts of all the worries and disappointments that we're having. And if we're starting to fixate on those, then we're not going to be able to see the good things that are happening in our life. So that is red flag number 1. Red flag number 2, you mourn your failures, but you forget to celebrate your victories. So if you're finding that you're getting really angry and despondent when you have a loss or something doesn't go well, that can be very dangerous, because what happens is when we do have victories or when things do go well, it kind of clouds, we kind of just go right over that. And we're just thinking about when the next shoe is going to fall or the next bad thing is going to happen. And so we're not being really grateful for all the wonderful things that are happening in our life. So that is a red flag number 2. Okay, so red flag number 3. You feel unsatisfied and unhappy with everything you have or everything you don't have. So this is not a good trap to get into. Now that doesn't mean that striving for things, that's important, and having ambitions. But remember, we don't want our expectations to be too high, and we need to start thinking about what is it that we're thinking is really important in our lives. So if we are stuck in, well, I have a house, but I want a bigger one. Or, I don't really like my car, I want a better one. I have some friends, but I need more. The problem with that kind of thinking is we are disregarding all the things that we do have. And that's not a good trap to get yourself into, because there's always going to be a hole, and we're never going to be able to fill it, because we're just going to want more. And then we're not thinking about and appreciating what we already have. So that is a red flag number 3. Red flag number 4. You think about what you have to do instead of what you get to do. So if you find yourself viewing everything as an inconvenience instead of a welcome opportunity, perhaps, it's just going to be really hard to navigate, and you're really going to get stuck in some really negative thinking. So, for example, if we're really getting stuck in, all I'm doing is work, and we're finding ourselves having some really negative thoughts about our work, we need to think about that a little bit. So what are things we can appreciate about working and having a job? Well, work certainly feeds us. It puts a roof over our head. It keeps us alive. It keeps the enjoyable things in our life accessible. So we need to remember to appreciate our work, even when it feels burdensome. That's how we can get through those tough times. So red flag number 5, you see yourself as a victim. The problem with seeing yourself as a victim doesn't come from the fact that it's necessarily inaccurate. So I'm not negating that there are things that happen in people's lives and they are actually victims of circumstances, situations, terrible situations, or bad people. So I'm not negating that. The problem is if you're constantly viewing yourself as a victim, it's not empowering you in any way, and it's going to keep you down. And this is really detrimental. It's detrimental to your self-esteem, because your self-esteem is going to plummet. You're not going to be able to move forward. And so we need to make a decision to reject that role, period, and start creating the type of life that we want, or a better life. So we've got to get out of that kind of role. So that is red flag number 5. Red flag number 6 is you hold on to the dramas of other people. So these are the judgments and the opinions and the things that people have said to you over time that we kind of keep inside, and the problem with that is we can really start believing it, and that can really keep us down. This can happen from childhood. So maybe you had some ambitions that maybe your parents, had some negative thoughts about and told you about that, or just different things that people may have said about you, or judgments that people have placed upon you. I mean, you need to throw that stuff out, and you got to remember that you know yourself better than anyone else. So we need to not be holding on to the dramas of other people. Okay, so those are some red flags, some signs that you may be stuck in a really negative mindset, and so those are indicators that you need to do some work in creating a more positive mindset. And I've got lots of videos that can help you along that journey. So important things are to start thinking about, what does your self-care look like? How are you taking care of yourself? Are you practicing gratitude? I've got a video that explains why practicing gratitude is so important, and how you can do that and make that a practice every single day. And it's really not that hard. Using affirmations is another tool that's really helpful. So if you find yourself kind of stuck in a negative mindset, that's an indicator that you need to start working on that, so you can experience more joy and satisfaction in your life. So if you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to be kind, and until next time.